Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games. I am Harry.
And I am Lily.
And today we're going to be continuing Lily's, actually we're going to be finishing up Lily's top 25 games of all time with her numbers 5 through 1. But before we go any further, please don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to our channel if you're interested in some more board game related content. But that's it. The time has come for Lily's absolute favorite games of all time, the top 5, and I must say I am excited to hear Lily talk about these 5 games.
Well, thank you all for sticking with us for 5 videos, and here is the last 5. Are you anticipating it? I hope you're not too disappointed. They're probably not your top 5, but that's okay. That's probably because I haven't played enough board games.
Yes. They're Lily's top 5, not yours.
They are. My number 5, right?
Yes, number 5.
Number 5 versus 0 means done.
Yeah.
No, it's number 5. Ticket to Ride. And I'm not going to say that it's Ticket to Ride. It's Ticket to Ride the franchise.
Yes.
That is my number 5.
Yes.
Not just the regular generic version. So if you are not familiar with Ticket to Ride is a train placement system in a map that connects cities. And you score based on the amount of trains you place. You pick up cars. You don't trade, but you like collect X amount of different colors. And there's wild cards. It's a really, really nice component. It was a gateway game for us early on. Harry got us the Ticket to Ride, a regular Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, the base thing, Ticket to Ride.
But since then,
yes,
we found like 11 other Ticket to Ride. So when I say Ticket to Ride is my number 5, I really mean the franchise of the Ticket to Ride.
Yes. What would you say of the maps we've played is your favorite map?
I love the maps. I love to travel, even though we haven't gotten out in 10 years. That's okay. I still like to look at pictures of the maps. I like to imagine that I'm there. We have played with maps from
Africa.
Like this one is the African map. Pretty awesome. Okay, African map. We've played with the obviously North American map.
Yes, yes.
That's the one that usually comes with it. We've played with the Nordic countries. Is this the Nordic countries map? Nordic countries. Is it?
That is Nordic countries, I believe.
Can't pronounce names. Maybe? All I know is that there was an Olympic game in Lillehammer. So, either way, Nordic countries. So if you want to reenact Elsa and Anna and Kristoff and Olaf, because we have kids and we know what that is, play the Nordic countries. But you could put the Frozen soundtrack in the background. You could also play the Indian map, which we have never played.
That's actually Asia, actually, which we have played.
Asia. Never mind.
As you can see, it has been a while since Lily has traveled
because there
outside
is
the
an
country.
Indian map, but I saw Calcutta and I thought I got really excited.
No.
No. This is the Asia, all of Asia, and then
It's a double-sided board. You have the legendary Asia and just Asia.
Double-sided boards.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you could just do any map, but these are like really.
And yet, Lily still has not answered my question.
Quality. Which one?
Which is her favorite map?
Okay, my favorite map is a Cuban map, which is a bootlegged version that Harry here made up just for us. Take to Florida and play with Cubans and by Cubans.
It's a fan-made map that someone uploaded the files on BoardGameGeek.com.
It was an amazing map.
And I downloaded the files and I put it together. But out of the official maps, do you have a favorite?
It did not survive the move. Oh look, of course, the United States of America map. I like the China, just because I'm in the Mandarin phase in my life.
You mean you like Asia?
No, there's a Chinese one. It's just China. Or like one that is mostly China.
No, there's not. Not that I'm aware of.
Yes, there is.
No, we played the Asian map. It's okay.
It's
been a while.
This one.
Yes.
It's mostly.
So we've got a good chunk of China, but we got India, we've got Russia and Japan and all these other places too.
About, everybody. There is an Asian one and there is a China one, which has a couple other countries, but mostly just China. So anyway, that's my favorite.
It's the reverse side of the Asian one. Yeah. But Lily's focusing on the China part. Yeah. So is that actually your favorite map, or are you saying that in hindsight? Because I do remember playing it. We only played it like once. I don't remember you having that great of a time. I actually remember you having a better time when we did the reverse side of the Asia map.
Yeah, it depends, because if for maps, I guess the distances don't always contribute, and
Yeah.
Apparently, like you score more points by the longer routes, and so some of the maps have more longer routes than others. So,
yeah.
I didn't really like the African map. I'll tell you that much. I was very excited about it. It wasn't bad, but like since I guess they just didn't do the research well, and like a lot of the spots where you finish the routes are in the middle of nowhere. They don't even bother to put a name.
Yes. So we got from this is Lily does not have a definitive favorite map, but she definitively likes to speak Mandarin.
Yes.
Now, as for me, I do have a definitive map, and it happens to be the one that is definitely not Lily's favorite, which is Africa. Africa actually happens to be my favorite. There's some neat things in it that I really like. There are some neat
things. I just couldn't get past the point, like, we're just building a road to the jungle. Like, at least say where in the jungle it is. Like, it doesn't take that long, people. I'm sure you could, like, you know, Google map it. There's a name, I bet, for that place in whatever language.
So it's the Ticket to Ride franchise. If she's happened to visit your country or happens to speak your language, then hey, even better. So
do they have a one for Spain?
They don't have one for Spain now.
Right.
There might be a fan-made one out there.
Time to do a Spain one.
We'll see. That might be next. So let's move on to number 4. That was number 5. Ticket to Ride.
Alrighty. Puerto Rico.
All right. There's no Ticket to Ride Puerto Rico that I'm aware of.
I know, right? There is no Ticket to Ride Puerto Rico. But
so tell us a little bit about Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is an amazing game that essentially, no matter how tired I am, I will always find a time to play. There, I said it. But it is also a game that plays better with multiple players, so we don't really have much time to play it.
We play it one-on-one. There is an official 2-player variant, which I think some modern editions of Puerto Rico actually include the 2-player version in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is at best at 3 or more players. We've only gotten to play it 3 players. Lily and I have only gotten to play it 3 players once. The last time we were planning to do a 3-player game, Lily was tired. She couldn't come and join me and my friend Andrew to play it. But
it was midnight. Get up at 6
But yeah, one thing about Puerto Rico is it looks ugly. I will have to say it's an old game, and its components are outdated.
Whoever came out with it has not had maybe they haven't raised enough money to like revamp it. But it's a great game. Don't let the fact of like the flimsiness fool you. Okay, so you have the island of Puerto Rico, right? And you're supposed to. This is like based in the 1800 Puerto Ricos.
I mean, I think it's colonial times. I think it's before 1800s.
You're supposed to build buildings, which buildings are just like little slots that fit into those things, either that take a 2 space or that take a 1 space. And then you're supposed to get your colonies.
Your plantations.
Your plantations, sorry.
You're doing plantation for different resources.
For different resources like coffee, like sugar,
tobacco, corn.
And then you're supposed to like ship it to the mainland, right? And then like get gold points or victory points because of whatever you shipped.
Yes.
And then you're supposed to also get the
the colonists,
the little colonies that without them being on top of the buildings and on plantations, you really won't be able to.
Yeah, they activate your plantations and your buildings so you could have their benefits.
Okay, the first 2 times I played this game, I had no idea what I was doing. So that's totally fine and normal. And I consider myself to be a pretty smart person. Yet I had no clue. I am a pretty smart person. I don't know what IQ is, but I have a master's degree, people. All right. I went places, did things. Anyway, the point of the matter is that I was lost, didn't get it. I didn't grasp my mind about how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, like a light bulb came out. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how you win. You win by getting the higher amount of buildings that will score you more at the end of the game.
Oh,
but then
now
you
that's it. Now everybody watching is going to beat you at the game.
You
gave them your strategy.
because it's like a lot of money, and you won't come across that amount of money if you don't like invest in your plantations and get your colonists working together. And if you have a nicer opponent that like will let you thrive. So it's not like you're sharing the same island of Puerto Rico. Everybody has like their own island.
Yeah, your own player board. Yeah.
So there's like several Puerto Ricos in the game, but it's really nice. I like the tactile version. Like I said, it could be better. It could be wood, right? But it's kind of ugly looking. I mean, I guess they did put like a little plant.
Yeah, the little small wooden discs that represent your colonists leave a lot to be desired, right? So
the resources are fine, you know.
I said the resources are maybe slightly below average. The other components are drastically below average.
The Cuban resources have like the shape of wine and the shape of things. Like it would be nice if you have shape, but we'll just hope that we're not colorblind, because if you are colorblind, you really won't know the difference between one or the other.
Now, the key mechanism to Puerto Rico is each turn you're selecting a role that gives you a particular benefit, a particular action that you and all your other opponents are actually going to do that same action. However, you, for choosing that role, get an additional benefit or an additional action from that role that you choose. Now, it's all about selecting the right role at the right time because, again, everybody's going to get to do it. All these roles are going to get selected at one time or another. But you want to choose a role when it's going to benefit you more than it's going to benefit all of your other opponents. Otherwise, you're just doing them a favor, saving them the turn of having to pick that role. And then now when their turn comes, they get to pick yet another role that benefits them more than it benefits you. So it's very, very important to know. And sometimes you're going to have to make a tough decision of choosing a role that may or may not be what you wanted to do. But hey, at the end of the day, you don't want to give that extra leverage to your opponent.
So I mean, the roles are like the mayor, right? So like the new colonists come to town and you get to like colonize whatever you have available for colonization. Prospector, you get one doublon, which is the currency back then apparently from the bank. The trader, you have to have goods to trade, otherwise this is worthless.
Yeah.
The builder, you have to have money to build, otherwise it's worthless. The captain, you have to have goods and ships available that you could deliver, otherwise that's worthless. And the production, hopefully you won't near the end of the turn, because if you produce and then you can't store them,
it's worthless.
It's worthless. So the bottom line, timing is everything, which is why it took me a little bit, because I perhaps made
definitely timing is important about this game. You know, it's not
amazing
about
game.
You can't get greedy, you can't get anxious. You know, you gotta wait for the right time to choose said action. So,
and I have to say, I don't think it'll be challenged. You know, like I think this one deserves a spot in my top 10 for a good while.
Oh, look at that! Lily's calling it. We'll see a year from now if it's still. I think it'll also be in her top 10.
Where was it last year?
It was actually number 3. It dropped to number 4.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. That's not.
When you get all the
Yeah.
games.
Well, actually, it's a game that was. I think you switched your number 3 and 4 from last year, but we'll get to that. But I think it might. There's a good chance this might not be in your top 5 next year, though. It might still be in your top 10.
Remember, my top 25 are like really my top 10, just in different orders, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only 10 at the top 10. If you really like more than 10, and you have to make a room for it.
Yes.
Puerto Rico.
All right, you're number 9, Puerto Rico. Number 4. Sorry about that. That's me predicting next year.
All right.
Number 3. Yeah. Not as big of a box.
Tiny box, packed with lots of fun. Bonanza the Duel. Thank you, Lucy, for contributing to our fun.
Our friend Lucy bought this game for us.
I mean, she really wanted to buy it for Harry, but I happened to go into Harry's wish list and be like, what is a nice, within the price range she had game that I could have? And I was like, you should buy him that. And she had it waiting for us in Florida. Look at how amazing that was. We've been hooked on it ever since. Thank you, Lucy, for the last 2 years.
Thank you.
Bonanza the Duel. Bonanza the Duel is like Bonanza, which didn't make it, right?
Yes, it was in your top 25. Yep.
Just a 2-player version, because there's only 2 of us here that are over the age of 18 or with any type of, well, I guess 2
of us over the age of 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard with a 4-year-old to play Bonanza, but I hope that eventually when he gets to be 13, he could do it.
You could join us.
Long way to go. My gosh, that's a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's okay, because more and more they're making 2-player versions. It looks like funny little caricatures of beans. They have smelly beans, red beans, chili beans, soybeans, stink beans, blue beans, whatever other type of beans that there are. Black-eyed beans, any beans, garden beans. Beans galore. You will know beans like you've never known them before. And you're supposed to plant them. You're supposed to plant and collect points or coins on the depending on the amount of types of them, like sets of them. Different sets of them get you different amounts.
Yeah.
Depending on whether if it's like a more common bean or a less common bean. And this one has a nice mechanism where you are trading. You're offering a game to the other player.
You're offering a
bean
gift as a gift.
You're offering something they cannot refuse. Essentially, like, they can only either be like, no, I don't want to have this, and then like hope that person takes it, or the person has to bluff and be like, oh, well, you could have this bean.
Yeah, they do a counter offer. If they don't like your
you
offer,
have to
they give you a
always
counter
do
offer.
a counter offer.
Or accept the offer that's been given to you.
Or accept the offer, which
something
may
is
suck.
going to exchange hands.
Because if you accept the offers that they give you, chances are you have to plant it, and then that will mess up whatever crops you already have, because you only have X amount of, like, 3 different fields. You have 3 different fields where you plant your little crops, and you're planting, and by planting, you're placing things on top of the other, top of the other, top of the other. And what I love about this game is that it has this other component. Where is it? Where are they?
What other component? Oh, you're talking about the.
Oh, here they are.
You're talking about the different bonus cards.
Bonus cards. I was like, where are they? They were under the beans. Bonus cards. So if you do like this will give you 70 points. If
certain patterns.
So 70
of
like
cards
100 would be
planted.
1 point, but 70 would be like 70% of that, right? So like if different patterns, if whatever you're planting has like one of different things. So if you see this on your field or on the neighbor's field, then you can score it at any given point. If you see 7 of the same type in your field or this neighbor's field, you can score it. And so you have multiple ways of scoring, not only by planting, but also by accruing. This one is 5, like 3 of different ones and 2 of the same at the end. If you see that, you could score 100, and that would be like the equivalent of getting 1 coin. So anyway, really cool game. We'll never get tired of playing it. We'll never get tired of playing it.
And real quick, before we move on to the next game, really important trivia. This game was brought to us in May of 2018 when we visited our friend Lucy in Orlando, Florida. And this was the game that really made Lily start playing games more with me. I was already in the hobby for over a year at that point, but Lily would play the occasional game with me, and more than anything joined for like bigger group games and stuff like that. But we weren't playing consistently one-on-one until after Bonanza the Duel. So Lucy, thank you so much.
Small tiny box, tiny box, lots a world of fun.
And let's move on to number 2. That's it. Woo, the top 2 games.
A bigger box. A family favorite, Agricola.
Agricola. Woo.
Yay. Agricola was actually my number 1 game last year, wasn't it?
No, it actually was. It was your number 1 game.
2 years ago? I thought it was last year.
No, I think last year it wasn't your number 1 already. Maybe, no, you know what?
It
was last year.
That's why
it
you
was.
were so surprised.
Yeah. It was.
No longer my number 1.
No, because we actually did another top 100 for yours in the middle of last year. So a full year ago, this was your number 1. 6 months ago, it wasn't. But I won't say what was.
What it currently is.
Yeah.
Agricola. What is Agricola? Agricola is another planting game. Apparently, I was a farmer in a previous life, and I miss it. It's much like Agricola's 2 creatures. What is it?
All creatures, big and small.
Big and small.
Which was in your top 10, I think, or top
Definitely
15.
my top 15. But the bigger expanded version where you could plant different vegetables, you could plant different corns. You have to feed the person, the people. So the other one is like a nicer version of the game, where you don't have to provide food for your. First of all, you start with the same amount and you stay with the same amount of people. This game, whoever made up these little people really scored, because you start with like 2 or 3. You start with
2. By the way, this is a worker placement game. So you have different spots on the board that give you different actions that you can take. Different actions that you could take. And your family members, and these are special miniatures that we bought. The game doesn't come with those. They come with like wooden meeples. But the point is, you use your family members as your workers to place on the different spots and activate those actions. But one of the things you could do is you can grow your family through the course of the game and therefore give yourself more workers and more actions, right?
Yes, you can. Here's one lady with a baby. much like us. All right. So either way, this game adapts to the amount of players that you have. So you could play with a lot of different people, because essentially you're just changing the front part of it and then adding whatever else is to it. So depending on the amount of players, you are like, this is like a 4-player game. And this would be like a 3-player game, and it just makes it so there's more or less resources available. There's a 2-player version and a 1-player version, so you could even play by yourself, apparently, right? And hope that you don't starve. But it has like 6 stages, sorry, where different cards and different resources will come available. Like the first stage, you're just doing the sheep market. You're just hoping to plant and fence so you could accommodate your upcoming cattle and I guess other animals that you may acquire in the process of the game. And then after that, you start like expanding your home to accommodate for kids. Then you start redecorating the home to instead of wood, you have to make it clay. Upgrade it into eventually stone. Not that stone. I guess it's like a European game. Brick, people.
It's better than clay.
We do brick here.
Brick.
Anyway.
This is a medieval game.
It's a medieval game. It's really cool though. And so it opens up and it does have, much like life, it has like a finite amount of turns. So that's when the end of the game will be. It gets triggered
14 rounds.
There. 14 rounds, whether you're ready or not. Mm-hmm. And every time you get to one of these bottom stages, you have to feed however amount of people are in your family, and that's the bad part. And then the good part is that whatever you have available resource-wise will multiply. So if you have a sheep, two or more.
Yeah, if you have 2 or more of different animal types, they will breed and give you an additional.
It comes with a lot of different cards, possibilities, endless possibilities. It has like cards that you could purchase, so you could like convert like ovens, let's say. So you could convert like sheep to 3 food, pigs to 4, whatever. It has workers, right? Well,
you have the occupations, which are different people you can hire. You basically go to a spot on the board and feed them with 1 plate of food, and they give you a benefit. And
sometimes are really good benefits.
Yes, absolutely.
Really good benefits. You're fencing your original place, so making it so you have space, and for every one square, 2 little animals of the same type of animals can coexist if they are all fenced in. Mm-hmm. And you could buy stables and make them so they could accommodate twice as much the amount of the squares.
Yes.
And so because you don't want to end up running out of room and not having to forego keeping your animals that you have worked so hard to acquire. And at the end, you score. Where is the scoring thing? Is it on the side here?
No, you're thinking about Agricola, all creatures being small. But you scored. You have a pad here.
Oh, you have a pad.
And it tells you, it lets you know how you score. Well, actually, the side of the board here lets you know how you score.
There you go.
There is a thing about Agricola. What a lot of people don't like about Agricola, the people who don't like Agricola, is that you kind of have to do a little good in every category, or else you will have points deducted from your overall score. And lots of people don't like that. They're like, oh, it doesn't feel like I have the freedom to do what I want. But you kind of do have the freedom to do what you want, because you can choose to do a little bit more of some things and a little bit less of other things. And sometimes you can neglect 1 or 2 categories altogether and still win the game. You just don't want to neglect too much. And also you adapt to what your opponent's doing, right? Because if your opponent's neglecting 1 or 2 things, then that also gives you a little bit more freedom to neglect 1 or 2 things. Yeah.
But we're going to wrap it up because we're running out of time, and I really would like to have the last games where we spend it. So anyway,
yes, the number 1.
Buy it, love it, or not.
All right.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yes, great game. I like it too. It's really highly ranked on my list.
And my number one top first game of all time that I have played so far, right? Because we haven't played everything we own, right, Harry?
Yes.
And he's there like, can I please buy this other game?
Yeah.
We haven't opened the ones we have.
That's a topic for another day.
Another day, guys. Another day.
Number 1.
Le Havre.
Le Havre.
Amazing game. Another trading game. And I guess I really should have been either a farmer or a business person. I'm telling you, the games that are my go-to are
designed by Uwe Rosenberg, who also designed Agricola, and who also designed Bonanza.
It has Agricola here, so it has like Le Havre, like I guess Mrs. Rosenberg is his wife or whatever. Hi. And then like the Agricola boxes are being shipped on this thing of Le Havre. I found it to be hilarious, Uwe Rosenberg. That was amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Way to convert the people.
It's called
from another
meta.
one.
Anyways, but yeah, I was mentioning how you also have Bonanza the Duel. So Uwe Rosenberg is definitely a designer that Lily appreciates.
He's the guy wherever conference is at will show up at some point. Le Havre. What is Le Havre? Le Havre is you don't really have anything to put your stuff in, right?
No, you don't really. You don't have your own player board.
Use the table, right? And everything Harry has separated. You have different resources that you will then use in buildings, which are cards. hold on, where are the buildings? No, these are the ships. Which
Yeah,
are
right
the
here, right here.
special buildings?
Right here, we got
Yeah,
some
right
of the
there.
buildings.
So using the buildings, which are the cards, will make you either get more resources, convert brick to what is it?
Clay into brick.
Clay into brick, convert iron into steel.
Yeah, basically all the resources in this game have an upgraded version of themselves.
It's an upgraded version. Convert hide into leather, cattle into
meat, fish into smoked fish.
The ultimate purpose of all of that is that you can ship it out and get money for it at the end, right? So not at the end, but throughout the game. It's just that the game is also very finite, because I guess Uwe Rosenberg likes it finite. And it has X amount of rounds, which are X amount of ships. So in a 2-player version, you have 7 rounds? Not 11, right?
Well, it depends. You have a shortened version of the game and a long version of the game. The shortened version of the game, which is the only versions we've actually played, consists of 8 rounds. So we played 8 rounds of this game.
So 8 rounds. And 8 rounds, it's not enough. It is not enough to do everything, because just like around round 6,
it's never enough.
You are in the process of trying to get used to what you're going to do. And whoever starts first is at a disadvantage at the end, because it's an odd number of rounds or odd number of turns. So you will have less turns in the very last turn of the game, which is the one that matters the most.
Well, the way it works is each round, there's 7 collective turns amongst all the players.
For sure. So we actually are very competitive, and we roll dice. So we roll dice to make sure that whoever comes first is at a disadvantage at the end, and it could be a fair way to draft.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love Le Havre. It is not an easier game to get. It's definitely like a meatier game to do, but
absolutely meatier.
It is one that you won't regret. It doesn't come with all the stuff. This stuff we play it so often, and we love it so often that we like to keep things organized.
Yes.
It has ships, and you're oftentimes utilizing other people's ships and paying the other player. I mean, it has everything you could possibly want. Yeah,
and if you like resource management or resource conversion, like Uwe Rosenberg games, like worker placement games, this is definitely a game for you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for loving our number 1 to 5 top Lily games. Please leave the comments below if you're into any of the ones that I've mentioned today. Thank you so much for tuning in and looking and learning with us.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us for Lily's top 25 games of all time. The journey was a fun one. Please don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to our channel.